Let's talk about some of these guys. What did you make of Khamzat versus Gilbert Burns?
Man, it was I seen a lot of people giving Khamzat shit because he had a tough fight. Like, I feel like people thought Khamzat was going to go in there and fucking shoot lasers out of his eyes. Like, he's not. He's a human. Like, he's very, very good, and he mauled a couple of guys who weren't that good in skill. But Gilbert, like, I knew that was not going to go down like that. I knew it was going to be a tough fight, and I knew Gilbert was going to take it to him, and he fucking did. And Khamzat looked great to go in there being number 11 to beat the number 2 guy. Like, that's a big fucking jump, and he looked great. And
how many people do you think could have done exactly what Gilbert did in that fight? Be that freaking savage and keep pushing that and take on that damage.
In our division, not that many. Khamzat's beating most of the guys in the division, 100%. But not me. You know, I think I can beat all these guys, and I think we're gonna go like this until we meet each other, and it's definitely gonna happen.
So part of you saying, you know, you haven't had a chance yet to show how great you can be. Is that particularly angled at spar at your striking, or do you think you've shown it as well balanced as you could attack?
I just feel like it's when you go in there and you fight, it's the weirdest experience of your life. It's so hard to explain because it's not like I train and I pretty much fight every single day, and there's nothing that can compare to an actual fight when you're in the octagon. I'm just saying, once I can do what I do in training inside the octagon, I don't think anybody can beat me in the world.
Let's talk about some other ones. Khamzat, actually, we talked about how good he was. Give me your scouting report on him now.
He's obviously, people talk about how big he is. I don't think he's that big. He's just tall. Like, Chiesta's a big guy. Neil Magny's a big guy, but they're tall. They're not like, he's not fucking 210 pounds.
And for folks who don't know, you've trained with Neil Magny.
Yeah, I've trained with Neil Magny. He's a big guy. He has good striking. Obviously, he has good wrestling. He has good submissions. He's very well-rounded everywhere, you know? He doesn't have many holes, but he showed in that fight, which I already knew, he's a human being, and he can be hit, he can be hurt, he can be rocked, he can be essentially finished. If that fight would have had 2 more rounds, it was super close. If they would have said Gilbert Burns, I would have been completely fine with that. It was a super close fight. I think 2 more rounds would have showed a little more. I think Gilbert would have kept putting that pedal. Yeah,
I agree with him. I don't think anyone's talking about.
That's actually a pretty good point.
Like, Gilbert could have gotten the decision there. No one really talking about that.
Oh yeah, when that fight was over, we were watching it, and I was like, I don't know who won. I was like, either way, I'm happy with it because it was a great fucking fight and they deserved it. But I thought Gilbert could have got the decision just as easy as Khamzat did.
Let me defend Khamzat in the following sense, which was, you know, I think we'd both agree he kind of fought like a jackass.
Yeah.
If he fights a more disciplined game,
100%.
Like, part of that, maybe he ruins his own ferocity, but it has to help his chances.
Yeah. He definitely didn't fight the smartest way he could, but maybe he just has that in him, like that he just wants to go in there, and that's what comes. No, we never seen that, so we don't know if that's how he's going to fight every single time somebody does crack him, you know, because that's how Paul Felder is in the gym. Like, you hit him with a good shot, he wants to hit you with like 4 more shots harder than what you just hit him with.
He sounds like a nightmare to spar.
He wants to hit you right in the iron lung. Yeah.
He was fighting Edson the first time, and the UFC was there filming for UFC Countdown, and one of my teammates came up to me because I was his next round, and he said, "Keep your hands up, bro. He's throwing wheel kicks." I'm like, all right. So I already knew what I was getting myself into. But no, Khamzat's the truth. He's super legit. Our division is great, and I can't wait to test myself.
Or what about this Kamaru Usman?
Kamaru Usman, yes.
I mean, he's raised his game. You have to give him that respect.
Pound for pound best.
But when you see him, though, are you focusing on holes that you think you can exploit?
Yeah. Personally, I don't think Kamaru is going to be around much longer. I think he's going to have like 1 or 2 more fights, and I think he's going to ride off into the sunset. He's done everything already. You know, I don't feel like he's talking about boxing Canelo, and I feel like once you start saying shit like that, like, you kind of like already thinking about other stuff. But as far as a fighter, Kamaru's great. You know, he has great wrestling. He has obviously his.
Yeah, this guy's so uncomfortable.
I mean, this is the worst chair in America.
You want to switch spots with me?
No, it's okay.
There's a loose spring on that chair that does a little "How's your father?" if you sit at the wrong angle. You know,
it's going to shoot him into the air.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yes.
No, Kamaru's, but same thing. He's the pound per pound best because of how good he is. And nobody thought he was going to knock out Masvidal the way he did, and he fucking starched him. So, yeah, I'm just excited. You know, I'm excited to be part of a fucking division that has all these good guys. But like I said, I think I match up well against everybody.
What about Colby? Where do you because there is the debate about Colby is obviously he has done some good stuff in terms of being his fighting ability, especially winning over Masvidal. But he sort of being Masvidal, he hasn't beaten hardly anyone in the top 5 in quite some time.
Yeah, it's funny you said that. I never even realized that until someone said it. I'm like, damn, he doesn't have a single win besides Masvidal over anybody in the top 10.
Yeah.
But same thing with Colby. Like, he's good, but I remember watching RDA fight him, and Colby's he's really good at being the hammer. But once you kind of put like RDA took him down a couple of times, I'm like, damn, like that's something nobody's ever tried to do to him. Even Usman never shot on him in those 2 fights. What if Usman would have shot on him, took him down, and could have finished him potentially? You know, so yeah, I look at it a whole different way. Like, RDA took him down very easy off the cage, and I'm like, that's something not many people are shooting on the. Wrestlers are really good at being the wrestler when they're offensive. They're not very used to being the defensive guy when you start putting the pressure on them. So, yeah.
All right, one more for me. What about Shavkat Rakhmonov?
Oh, you love some Shavkat Rakhmonov, Luke Thomas.
He's undefeated as well.
Oh, yeah.
Sean Brady's undefeated, so is Rakhmonov.
He's amazing. His striking's great. He throws wheel kicks. He does all kinds of crazy shit. He has submissions. He's almost like a Hamza, but without the hype. You know, I actually think he's skill for skill better than Hamza. So yeah, he's
pretty special.
Yeah, he is.
What do you think could end up being the fight that takes you to the next level? And everyone, when they're rising and they're a contender and they're unbeaten in the UFC, you know, you end up with that fight. Sometimes it's a bigger name on the come down, but what do you think could end up being that breakthrough fight for you?
I think the fight that makes the most sense would be me and Luque at this point. I'm 9, he's 6.
You're 9?
Yeah, I'm 9.
Didn't you beat number 6 at Chiesa?
Yeah.
So why the fuck are you 9?
Why don't you ask the UFC, Luke?
I don't care.
Luke was telling me it's not. It's other media members. So we need to.
Well, we need
to hash that out.
You see who shows up at these UFC press conferences and ask the media questions, okay?
I'm like, yo, why'd you motherfuckers put me at 9?
Yeah, put him on the spot, so Brady.
No, I think me and Luque would be a great fight, though. I think that's what makes the most sense. Because, like I said, most guys, everyone just wants to fight ahead of them, which I mean, I'm trying to do too, you know. But I wanted to fight Wonder Boy. He kind of pretty much just said, fuck that, which I respect.
I mean, I don't think he said fuck that, to be fair. Just, you know, Wonder Boy, he didn't swear. I mean,
well, he didn't swear.
What the hell's wrong with you?
He didn't swear, but he essentially said fuck that.
Okay.
He said fuck that shit. So, but no, me and Luque, that's what I'm hoping for.
For Thompson, that's God bless you, probably. You know, it's just like, you know, thank you, sir.
God bless Sean Brady, his whole family. Yes. No thanks.
I know, but the point about like Wonder Boy, it's dude. I mean, Wonder Boy is almost a 40-year-old man.
And then
he should be fighting basically.
I agree.
Whoever he wants.
I agree, but at that point, if you're going to be like that, I don't think you should be in the rankings. I don't think you should be holding. Because what's the point of being in the rankings? It's to eventually get into the top 5 and get a title shot. If you're holding up spots like that, go off, do the Nate Diaz's, do the Nick Diaz fights, do all that shit. But let us younger guys who are trying to make our names, make our money, make our way up, let us do what we're trying to do.
How have you? It's surprising. How have you never crossed paths with Belal Muhammad?
We were scheduled to fight in December of 2020, and I was coming off of a fight in August, and I had a fracture in my smaller. I think it's your tibia, your fib. I had to pull out of the fight regardless. But yeah, so that's what I thought we were going to collide again after that, but it just hasn't happened yet.